Friday, February the 1st. It is the new month, a new day, new month. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. Wow, there's so much to take in right now for me. There was so much to take in because I did all of those readings over the weekend. For those who may not know, I added tarot card readings to the Keeping It Real with KC show as a supplement, another supplement, just like my daily thought is a supplement of Keeping It Real with KC. Keeping It Real with KC is a weekend show, but I add in all this other stuff to it. And there's something else I want to add too, but I don't want to say it yet because I want to wait until everything, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But yeah, so doing that over the weekend, I was exhausted when I finished because I did 6 on Saturday and 6 on Sunday. In addition to that, I run my other podcast, which I had to do a show for that. So really, technically, I recorded 7 shows on Saturday, and then I uploaded the show on Sunday for my other podcast is what I did. But even though I was exhausted, I was still like, wow, I was happy because I was like, wow, I got it done. And that made me think about passion. Not only that, but also the tarot card readings too. For those who haven't listened to them, the Ace of Wands came up a few times. The Ace of Wands is about passion. It's a passionate new start, passionate new beginnings. It can also mean passion, in the bedroom. But and that's more of the fire energy is what it is. And it's having a fire, having a desire, going after something. And when you're passionate about something, it doesn't affect you as much. You're not as affected when tiredness comes in, or fatigue would be the more appropriate word. So when fatigue comes in, it doesn't affect you as much because you're passionate about something. You're almost obsessed on it because you're laser focused on completing your goal. And the other good thing about passion is even when things are going not so good, if you're still passionate about something, then you're still staying the course. You're still staying level. And because things go up and down in life, and there's good moments, bad moments. Like if you're in sales, for instance, I was in sales for years, and some months were good months for me, and some months were like, However, when you're passionate about what you do, even if you have a not so good month, you're still passionate. You're still attempting to accomplish the goal. In sales, it will be to continue selling. Just like this. Some of my episodes do really well and some do okay. However, I'm passionate about the Keeping It Real with KC show and the brand. So I'm still very consistent too. And that's another thing. Passion helps you remain consistent. It keeps you motivated, even if things don't work out the way you expect them to work out, or how you'd like for them to work out. So passion is something that is needed in anything that you consider worth doing. If you are looking to excel at your job, you have to do your job with passion. If you're looking to be an entrepreneur, you have to have passion for whatever field you're going into, whatever business you're looking to start, whether you're looking to start a social media branding business or marketing business, or a makeup business, or a pizza business. You have to be passionate about pizza, which that's actually how some businesses come into being. It comes into being where people do stuff on the side because they're just passionate about it, and then it just turns into a business for them, and then they blow up, and the rest is history. That you have to be passionate about what you do if you want your relationship to thrive. And by relationship, romantic relationship, whether it's marriage or you're dating someone, you have to be passionate. You can't just be passionate on February the 14th. You have to be passionate throughout the relationship. Now, passionate doesn't mean that when the person walks through the door, you jump on them. Passionate can mean that you're always texting or you're always calling, if they're into that. Some people aren't into that. But you're taking the initiative to let that person know, hey, I really care about you. I have a passion for you. The fire is burning. It's not dim. The fire is burning for you. I can talk to you every day or every night or whatever. Taking someone out to eat, those type of things. It's just, when it comes to passion, it seems like people don't really have that particular thing because, again, stuff isn't going the way they expect it to go. And I'm doing two things at once for those who are watching the podcast. For those who are listening to the podcast, it doesn't matter because you can't see me anyway. But yeah, when you get being in a relationship, if it's not going the way you think it should go, how you would want it to go, then the passion might die down. You may not be as passionate for it anymore. And you don't show the things you used to show. You don't call the way you used to call. You don't text the way you used to text. You don't, you're not as receptive to receiving affection from the other person and things like that. If you're not passionate about a job, maybe you do half work, shoddy work, where you only do 75% of what could have been done, and then you just pass it off and hope that it doesn't come back to you because you're not passionate about it. And I feel that some people, or a lot of people, when they do things, they do it more out of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say survival, even though survival could be a word, but there's another word. I feel like there's another word or another phrase in the English language that really, really, really covers it. They do, and not second nature. That's not it either. They do things. You know what? I'm going to do not survival, but more for self-preservation, which is a little bit of the same thing, but I feel it describes it better. I feel like people do things more out of self-preservation, where it's like, okay, I'm not really passionate about this job, but I want this, I want this, I want that, and it will pay the bills, and it will do this, and it will do that. So I'll just go ahead and do the job, and that'll be that. Is the mindset. Almost like where someone doesn't want to be alone, and then they go into a relationship anyway, and they're not passionate about it, but they don't want to be alone. So they're just like, I'll enter into this relationship, and I'll do this, and maybe I'll meet someone, the right person one day, but for now I'll just stick with this. There isn't any passion there. So more than likely, that relationship won't last anyway. I feel that everything people do, they should do it with passion. It's you want to be fired up. It's almost like that song. There's this old song by what is the name of that group? Funky Green Dogs. It's an old song. And it's called Fired Up. If you ever get a chance, listen to the song. It's like I don't really want to say techno, but it's a dance song. Check it out sometime. It's called Fired Up. It's by Funky Green Dogs. And it's a really, really cool song. But the point is, you have to be fired up. Regardless of how things are looking. You have to make it a point to have that desire within you. Because if you don't, well, there goes consistency and there goes everything else, is what happens. So, yeah, I was just thinking about that. That's why I decided to do it as a daily thought. It's like passion, because that's one reason why I do what I do. One reason I enjoy it, but also because I have passion for it. It's fun. It's always fun. And shout out to those who have been listening to the podcast. I tell this to my listeners every now and then from time to time, because I try not to get too bogged down in the analytics and all that stuff. But what seems to happen from time to time is people will come in and binge watch or listen to my podcast, and then the streams go through the roof, and then it'll go down a little bit, and then all of a sudden it'll go through the roof. And that's what happens. So shout out to my binge listeners, because I see that some people have been binge listening to my episodes, and I thank you for that. I'm always honored, and it's moments like this that definitely keep me passionate about this. I'm always honored that there are people out there that are kind enough to give their time to me just to hear what I have to say, and that are willing. Oh, thank you. 444 on the clock. So yeah, for those angel numbers and things like that, I always say thank you anytime, 111 222 333 444, so on and so forth. So, or 1111. But anyways, so yeah, it just means a lot to me. It really, really does. So I don't know if you'll be a long-term listener or not, because some people, they leave for a while, then they come back and then binge 20 episodes, and then leave and then come back and binge another 20 episodes, and so on and so forth. So, but however you do it, or whatever you choose to do, regardless, thank you for listening to the podcast. I sincerely appreciate that. And I'm working on something, a little project, and I did the most crazy thing. I'm doing this during Mercury retrograde. For those who don't know, Mercury retrograde is happening, which if you listen to the tarot card reading, you already know that. Or if you listen to my show, I've mentioned Mercury retrograde like 4 million times already. But one thing that you usually don't want to do is start new stuff during Mercury retrograde. However, I decided to start something new because I was like, well, if the forces are pushing against me, this might be the best time to get my workout. Because if I started when Mercury goes direct and everything's going fine, then if something crazy comes along when Mercury isn't in retrograde, let's just say everything's going fine and something crazy comes along, I may not know how to handle it. So I was like, let me do it during Mercury retrograde, where it will more than likely be its most difficult to get done, and see how I handle it and see if I can get it done and see how it turns out. I think crazy like that sometimes. So this is one of my wacky moments. I'm a little eccentric in some ways. So, and quirky and all that other stuff, but quite adorable according to what I've been told. So, yeah, I'm doing this project during Mercury retrograde. My goal is to have the project completed by Valentine's Day. Remember, we're in Mercury retrograde. So, I'm waiting to see what happens, but I'm excited. I'm super duper duper excited. So yeah, that is my goal. Also, speaking of Valentine's Day, too, because it's going to be towards the middle of the month, I plan on, for the tarot card readings, I plan on doing a quick mid-month energy reading for tarot cards. It's not going to be as long because my tarot card readings usually last about 20 to 30 minutes, give or take. My goal is to do a quick energy reading that will be about 10 to 15 minutes, but the goal is to be 10 minutes. It's going to be like in, out. I'm not pulling 8 cards. I'll more than likely pull 4 cards and do that. So I'm looking to do that during the middle of the month as well. So I have 2 things happening during the middle of the month. And there was something else I meant to tell you guys, but it isn't quite coming to me. I forgot what it was. It'll probably come to me later. But anyways, let me get going. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. Also, this podcast is on several podcasting platforms like Apple, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Pandora, yada, yada, yada. Also, KIRWKC on all the social media platforms, facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the notification bell with the subscribe button. That will let you know when I upload new videos. And don't forget to like and share. Sharing is caring. And that's all I have. Until next time, be blessed.